Commander Vexter of the Crimson Legion stood 7 feet tall, with obsidian scales that gleamed like polished armor under the harsh lights of the human space station. 4 razor-sharp talons extended from each hand, and his fanged maw had ended the lives of countless enemies across 12 star systems. His people, the Crothari, were renowned throughout the galaxy as fearsome warriors whose very name made civilizations tremble. Today, however, Vexter faced his greatest humiliation. "Oh my goodness. Look at the little guy," squealed a human female technician, her face lighting up with unrestrained joy. She actually clasped her hands together near her face in that peculiar gesture humans made when encountering something they found appealing. Vexter's crest flared in indignation. "I am a decorated commander who has conquered 14 worlds for the Crothari Empire. I demand respect, not this absurd treatment." The human, who wore a name badge reading Emma, seemed completely unaffected by his threatening posture. "Look how his little crest puffs up when he's angry. That is adorable." "Adorable?" Vexter hissed, his voice dropping to a dangerous growl. "I have personally slain the Void Serpent of Kepler 442. I survived the blood wastes of Terminus Prime. I am adorable to no one." Emma turned to her colleague. "A male human named David. Did you hear that little hiss? I think I'm going to die from how precious this is." David grinned and pulled out a small device. "The captain is going to love this." "Commander Vexter, could you do that hiss again?" "My daughter would absolutely flip." Vexter's talons scraped against the metal floor, leaving deep grooves. "Your offspring will inherit only the memory of your disrespect, human. When I report this conduct to your superiors." "He thinks he's so scary," Emma whispered loudly to David, though Vexter could hear every word. "The little stompy feet. I can't handle it." This was precisely the problem Vexter had encountered since the Crothari Empire established diplomatic relations with humanity 6 months prior. Despite extensive cultural briefings explaining Crothari military prowess, battle honors, and fearsome reputation, humans responded to his species with what they called cuteness aggression. The issue stemmed from an unfortunate biological coincidence. The Crothari, through millions of years of evolution on their harsh homeworld, had developed features that made them apex predators: large eyes for night hunting, compact builds for conserving energy in their planet's thin atmosphere, and proportionally large heads to house their advanced cognitive centers. These same features triggered something primal in human psychology. Apparently, large eyes and small stature reminded humans of their own infants. Activating protective and affectionate instincts they seemed powerless to suppress. "I require immediate transport to the diplomatic wing," Vexter announced with as much authority as he could muster. "The treaty negotiations cannot proceed if I am subjected to further indignities." Emma reached out slowly, her hand approaching his head. "May I just—" Vexter snapped his jaws, the sound echoing through the corridor like a gunshot. "Touch me and face the consequences, human." The Crothari do not tolerate such familiarity from non-family members. Emma withdrew her hand, but looked more delighted than frightened. Even his angry face is just the sweetest thing in the universe. Vexter turned sharply and marched toward the diplomatic section, his clawed feet clicking rhythmically against the deck plating. Behind him, he heard Emma and David discussing how his determined walk resembled a fierce waddle. Whatever that meant, the diplomatic wing proved no better. Ambassador Johnson, the human negotiator assigned to hammer out the military alliance treaty, struggled visibly to maintain professional composure whenever Vexter entered the room. "Commander Vexter," Johnson began, clearing his throat, "we appreciate the Crothari Empire's willingness to share advanced tactical data regarding the approaching swarm threat. The swarm represents an existential danger to all organic life in this sector." Vexter replied, uploading a data crystal to the conference table's holographic display. My people have fought them for 3 generations. Your species must understand the magnitude of what approaches. The display activated, showing horrific footage of swarm attacks. Worlds consumed. Populations harvested. Entire star systems left as lifeless husks. The swarm was not interested in conquest or resources. It simply consumed everything biological in its path, converting organic matter into more swarm units in an endless cycle of expansion. Johnson's expression turned serious as he absorbed the information. This is worse than our intelligence suggested. The swarm's projected path brings them into human space within 8 months. 6 months, Vexter corrected grimly. They accelerate as they feed. Your tactical analysts underestimated their adaptation capabilities. He manipulated the display, highlighting swarm evolution patterns. With each world they consume, they incorporate new genetic material and technological adaptations. By the time they reach human territory, they will be even more formidable. Then we need the Crothery fleet deployed in defensive positions immediately, Johnson said. Our ships alone won't be enough. Agreed. However, there remains a significant obstacle to full military cooperation. Vexter's crest flattened in frustration. Your personnel cannot seem to treat my warriors with appropriate respect. Just this morning, 3 of my officers were subjected to what humans call head pats by crew members aboard your flagship. One human tried to pick up Lieutenant Karn and carry him like an infant. Johnson had the grace to look embarrassed. I've sent multiple memos about appropriate conduct. Memos are insufficient, Vexter growled. My warriors are questioning whether humans possess the discipline necessary for combined operations. If they cannot control their emotional responses during peacetime, how will they perform under combat stress? Before Johnson could respond, the station's alarm system activated. A calm computerized voice announced incoming hostile contacts on an intercept course. Vexter S. Combat. Instincts engaged immediately. How many ships? Johnson was already accessing his command tablet. 6 swarm scouts. They must have tracked your fleet here. He looked up, and Vexter saw genuine fear in the human's eyes. They've never penetrated this far into explored space before. Because they had no reason to, Vexter said, moving toward the door. Until now, we kept them contained. If they've broken through our defensive lines, the timeline just accelerated. I need immediate access to your tactical operations center. The operations center buzzed with controlled chaos when they arrived. Human personnel coordinated defensive responses, while Crothery officers provided tactical data on swarm attack patterns. On the main display, 6 organic-looking ships approached, their surfaces writhing with unnatural movement. All civilian vessels are evacuating to the far side of the station, reported a human officer. Defense platforms are charging weapons. Vexter studied the tactical display with experienced eyes. Your platforms will not be sufficient. Swarm scouts are expendable units designed to test defenses and gather intelligence. They will suicide attack your station's structural weak points. He highlighted several locations on the schematic. Here, here, and here. Hull breaches in those sections would compromise life support for 30% of the station. How do you know they're targeting priorities? Johnson asked. Because I have fought them for 23 years, Vexter replied quietly. I know how they think, because I have watched them kill everyone I loved. The first swarm ship struck one of the defense platforms, its biomechanical hull absorbing most of the weapon's fire before detonating in a shower of corrosive material. The platform went offline immediately. That acid is eating through the armor, a tactical officer reported with rising panic in her voice. The remaining platforms won't last long. Vexter opened a communication channel to the Crothery warship in orbit. Battle Leader Vex, I need immediate fire support on the following coordinates. He transmitted the data. Maximum firepower, overlapping fields. The response came in guttural Krathari battle cant. Acknowledged, Commander. Engaging targets. The Krathari warship, though smaller than the human station, bristled with weapons developed through generations of warfare against the swarm. Brilliant lances of coherent energy stabbed through space, each shot precisely calculated to intercept the attacking scouts. 3 swarm ships died instantly, their organic hulls unable to withstand the concentrated firepower. A 4th managed to launch itself toward the station before exploding, but Vexter had anticipated the trajectory. Brace for impact, Section 7. The impact shook the entire station, but the structural integrity held. The creature's corrosive payload splashed harmlessly against reinforced bulkheads, exactly where Vexter had ordered. Emergency shielding deployed 30 seconds earlier. The remaining 2 scouts attempted to flee, but the Krathari warship pursued with ruthless efficiency. Within minutes, all hostiles were neutralized. Johnson exhaled slowly. You saved this station. If those things had hit our weak points, thousands would have died, Vexter finished. The swarm kills efficiently. That is their only purpose. He turned to face Johnson directly. This is what approaches your worlds, Ambassador. Not 6 scouts, but 6 million. Not probing attacks, but total consumption. Do you understand now why my warriors require respect? Why we cannot tolerate being treated as amusing curiosity?